Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. Thank you for all the love on last week's Cinco de Mayo video. For those of you guys who follow me on my personal page and who just kind of chimed in from the podcast. So thank you guys so much. That video was definitely a labor of love. It's the longest video I have ever edited in my entire creative career. It was really exciting. It was really stressful. I think I added way too much onto my shoulders last week, like to be able to make that in such a short amount of time. And I tend to do that. I feel like whenever I'm gonna do some sort of like creative venture or things like that, I will make this fucking mountain in front of me, and then once I make it, realize that I have to climb it. And once I climb it, I'm like, God damn! What? Like halfway through, I'm always like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Why did you do this to yourself? Every fucking time. But you know what? At the same time, because I create these peaks and because I push myself so hard to reach those peaks, when I finally do summit, it's like, all right, you knew you were capable of this, and that's why you did it. And now you're here. So then, come back down and do it all over again. And it's exciting. It really is exciting. I know it's kind of like, well, damn, dude, like, why do you do that why do you stress yourself out that way, right? And I think as a creative for myself, I know it's for a lot of people too, I tend to create my best work under pressure. So deadlines, things like that. Not that I work on my stuff like the night before. That's not what I mean. But I will create like a heavier meaning to the deadline, or I will give something heavier to it. That way it just kind of weighs a little bit more. And last week, I pretty much spent the entire week, like from Monday up until Friday, editing, whether it was the actual full-length video or the reel that was released. And I know I've mentioned this before, but damn, dude, I feel like working on reels is always so much harder than the actual features that get dropped. Because the features, I feel like I can pace them a certain way and do certain things a certain way. But with the reels, I have to make them so visually interesting, right? Because there's 20 million things on IG, on TikTok, or whatever the fuck it is, however you're consuming your media, that you could be looking at. And that's something I always take into consideration, which is why I always tell you guys thank you. Because when I drop stuff like that, again, you could easily scroll past it. You could be looking at other stuff, whether it's cooking recipes or whatever it is you want to do, some other car stuff or whatever. But you're choosing to put your time into things that I've created. So thank you guys, for the likes, the comments, the shares, all of it. Every single thing. If I can't answer all of it or I don't get to see all of it, dude, I apologize for that, because sometimes it's a lot and it gets really overwhelming. So I just kind of put my phone aside, and it's like a mental note for myself, like, fuck yeah, it's awesome. Thank you guys. But I also sometimes need to realize the other side of that, which is like reaching out and be like, hey, dude, thank you. And I do my best to do that. But sometimes it does get a little bit much, and I just kind of like, I need to step back for a second. But Friday was very, very humbling, because I didn't think it would have that sort of reception. Like I knew that my close homies would see it and be like, yo, this is sick. That's what's up. But when other people see it, like strangers and things like that, and when people share stuff like that, I'm like, damn, dude, that's tight. That's fucking tight, because I never expect that. It's not something that I think is going to happen, or I expect it to happen, or anything like that, because I always assume, for myself being my toughest critic, that once it's out there, it's like no one's going to fuck with it. But I also don't release content for people to fuck with, if that makes sense, because I just release it because I want to share it with you guys. I don't look at numbers. I don't look at like any of the analytics or the insights or anything like that, because I was just having this conversation with somebody. You have to be really careful when you start to look at numbers and you start to look at certain things, because a lot of that shit will really affect you, right? Like I noticed it because I had done it one time. I even did it with the Cinco video. I did it like, there was a quick moment where I went to go check stuff, and I was like, damn, dude, and I got really down on myself about it, because the numbers wasn't exactly like what I thought they would be. But at the same time, I'm really proud of myself for doing it. So the numbers, I had to bring myself back down, right? Like, which I have to do very often, but brought myself back down. I'm like, yo, none of that shit matters, dude. This stuff is for me. I put this stuff out and I share this with you guys because it's something that I worked really hard on. And if people don't like it, it's okay. It's totally fine. And if people do like it, sick, that's awesome. But it's like, regardless, I have to do this for me, right? Like, it's for multiple reasons, like to keep my creative like juices flowing, to keep my skills up, because that's a big thing too. I feel like with a lot of creatives, depending on the work that you do, if you don't do it often, you start to lose your touch. And that's what I never want to happen. That's a big fear of mine, because I went through a period a couple of years ago where I wasn't really designing, I wasn't shooting, I wasn't doing any sort of video, and I almost kind of didn't know what I was doing. I had a basis, right? Like if I needed to create a logo or something like that, or some sort of branding, or do some sort of identity in some way, I had an idea which way to walk about it, but it didn't feel the same. It didn't feel as natural as it did. And the fact that I've been working so hard and so consistent every week, I feel fully now kind of like the way I did when I was coming out of college, where I feel very confident. I'm very aware of my skills. I'm very aware of the software and things that I'm using. Not that I wasn't then, but again, it's different when you're using it back to back, because there isn't really a day that goes by that I'm not working on something, whether it's editing, photo or video, or whether I'm designing and doing some identity or doing a t-shirt design, anything like that. And I'm very thankful to be in this position right now, that I'm able to stretch my legs every single day with what I do. Because again, there's times where I wasn't touching anything and I wasn't doing any of it, and I felt the negative repercussions of that. And that's what I don't want to repeat. So being in this position allows me to share my work with you guys. And I'm really fucking lucky. I'm really thankful, for sure. And again, thank you guys for all the love on everything. And I think another part of the stress for Friday, just kind of releasing the video when I did, is that I wanted to release it before my event on Saturday, which was the Pink Motel, because I wanted to kind of like build up a little bit of hype, where it's like, yo, there's so many people that are going to this event that were also at this Cinco event and that were sharing the video and things like that. So it's like, yo, get your vibes up for tomorrow, because this is what we're getting into, right? Like we're getting into lowriders, we're getting into classics, all kinds of shit. So it kind of gas people up a little bit, because you see photos and you see things, but it's a little different when you see it moving. So that was another thing too. And granted, another stress I added onto my shoulders, because I like took it upon myself to hype up the people that I fuck with. And I was just like, nah, because I want them to be excited for tomorrow. And sure enough, a part of it kind of worked. Because for the people that I ran into that know me, that follow me, that were able to see that video, it was the first thing that they brought up. Every single person. So I'm like, fuck, dude, this is sick. I'm like, thank you guys. And that's what I wanted, right? Like I wanted people to be stoked about it. Like they're like, dude, you dropped that video last night. I watched it and I was like, damn, hell yeah, tomorrow's going to be sick. And honestly, the event went off incredibly well. Saturday was fucking phenomenal. But Friday was really, really nice just to kind of experience everything as a whole, and just being able to meet a deadline, celebrate that. I ended up getting dinner with my mom, and we're just kind of talking, laughing, and we enjoyed our time. And it was also really cool too, because I ran into Jay and Sabrina, which I haven't seen them in a really long time. And it was the best way to run into them. Like we had checked in at the restaurant, went to go sit down next to mom's, and I had my head down. Like, I don't remember if I was looking at my phone or if I just kind of had my head down. And then this girl comes and sits next to me, like kind of on the close side. And I was like I looked over at, like, there was like a leg next to me, and somebody asked, like I heard a voice just ask, like, oh, is it okay if I sit here? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I looked up, and like the moment I looked up and I saw Sabrina's face, I just like shot up out of my chair, and I was just like jumping around like, no way, dude. So I was so stoked to see them. And after dinner, I was able to spend some time with them, and we're just kind of talking and catching up a little bit. And we started jumping into certain conversations that it was really nice to have, honestly. It was nice to have that, and just to have some sort of release, and just kind of like a sense of distraction before Saturday. Because Friday I was still kind of buzzing, like not literally like because I was drinking, but I was still buzzing off of all these thoughts and all these things that I was kind of dealing with from the week. Because not just with like the editing stress and all that, there's a lot going on in my family, like within my household. So I'm trying to kind of juggle and carry everything. And then aside from all that, it's like I have the things going on in my personal life. So I'm just like it's a lot. And sometimes it piles on. And when I have that stress, it feels like a massive fucking weight on my shoulders. And spending time with them, and well, first off, getting out with moms and just kind of laughing and talking, enjoying dinner, that was fucking great. And then being able to cap off my night, being with some people that I really care for, and getting just to shoot the shit. And again, just a little bit of distraction, which I very much needed at that time. Like, it was really great. After that, I jumped into a pretty heavy meditation, which was nice. I ended up knocking out. And then I woke up later than I expected on Saturday. But it somehow, I don't know how, but Saturday went off fucking amazing. Like, literally amazing. From the moment I got there and I parked, the fact that I was able to park where I did, I was already like, damn, okay, we're off to a good start. And then Julian pulls up and he's like, I called him and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm over here. I parked in this part. Let me know when you get here. He pulls up. Parking was starting to get a little bit thin. Tell me why the car behind me leaves when Julian gets there. So then he parks behind me and he's like, dude, what the fuck? How's this happening? All that shit worked out. But just the experience in itself of Saturday was so fucking special for multiple reasons. Like, I'm going to try and break down as many as I can without making this like a 1,000,000-hour video. But it just, I don't know. There was something so different about the way that went down versus last year, right? I think last year, the experience in itself was really cool, really special, something I'll never forget. And it was just heavier this year, right? Because Wax wasn't there. And I thought I would be okay with that to a certain extent. Like, I was like, yeah, I can deal with it. But I ended up having a lot harder of a time than I thought I would. And it showed in my work, which I was a little sad about. But I found myself really struggling. But at the same time, again, it was a lot of heavy contrast that day. Like, I had a lot of really amazing high highs and then some heavy lows to deal with. And whenever I have days that I'm constantly just kind of like going back and forth with the two, it's so taxing. And I feel kind of like disconnected. I feel like I'm having an outer body experience in a way, because I'm trying to deal with these emotions and then I get tackled by these other ones. And then I kind of have to take them as they come, But it was beautiful. And honestly, I'm really happy for all the genocide, like all the guys, because it was the fruits of their labor, right? Like, everything that went down was for them. And there was another event going down in LA. It's called To Live and Die in LA. Huge event, massive following. Tons of clubs go there. Bunch of people go for the music, just the vending, the foods, all of it. It's an experience. If you've never been to To Live and Die in LA, sorry, it's a tongue twister. You should go check it out for sure. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you've never been to something like that, check it out, because I think that's a big jump into the culture. If you don't understand or you want to understand, that's a good way to do so. And of course, you're in LA, like you're in downtown type of shit. So there's nothing more, right? There's nothing more you could ask for. So it just throws you in there. And somehow everything cracked on Saturday. It went the fuck off. Every single car that was there, I was like, yo, this is wild. This is wild. Every car had a vibe, which was already expected. You know that, right? Because that's the thing. I think as people are going to certain events, you start to realize what clubs bring out certain crowds and who does what, why you go here versus why you go there. And everybody who showed up was already like, fuck, dude, this is heavy. And the day started off a little on the gloomy side. So for myself, with what I was trying to do, both do photo and video. And then I very quickly realized that was not going to happen. I was trying to focus primarily on video. As I was working, I noticed that's just where I was leaning. So I said, you know what? It's fucking video time. So I put all my time into that. But I was realizing, man, with this overcast, I'm like, this shit sucks. Couldn't see anybody's paint. So I had to kind of wait a little bit, which took some time. And it ended up cutting into my filming time, right? So I felt like the pressure was even heavier because I had less time to do what I needed to do. But it was also tight because of that, because I'm like, all right, This is a shot that I want. These are the shots that I need to get. This is the car I need to film. Da 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 da. However I need to do it, I have to hit all of these marks. And even then, I still didn't film everything that I wanted to film. And that happens, right? It happens. It's okay. It's fucking solo team, essentially. Like, I'm doing it myself, trying to figure out everything myself and not forget. But with what I have right now, I'm really excited to drop the next video, and if everything goes according to plan, it will drop this Friday. Again, if everything goes according to plan. Once I finish this podcast today, I'm going to jump back into editing. So that's why I'm also going to try to not make this episode super long so I can get back to it. I still have a ton of work ahead of me. I've been having a little bit of a rough time kind of sitting down and focusing the last 2 days. But it's all right. We're going to get it done. Everything's going to happen. But again, Saturday was, I can't put it into words like how special it was. And when from the moment I ran into all the guys, like when I saw Bams, first things first, massive hug, good mornings, all the good things. And I'm like, my day's already off to a good start. You know what I mean? I got my boy Julian with me. I see Bams, I see Gerson, I see everybody, Rivy, all the guys, Joe. And it's all good things, all good vibes, all love. And I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. And then I ran into Armando. Start talking to Armando a little bit. And we start talking about the car. We start talking about the event. And we get into some conversation. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. And I noticed that throughout the day, I kept having these moments where I'd be working or something would be going down. And I would be caught off guard by a conversation that I'd be having with somebody. And it would fall into not necessarily something heavy, but it would start to get that way. And I'm like, all right, well, there's something about this, right? The universe is putting me in this position with this person for a reason. So I'm like, let's hear it out. Let's carry this whole thing through. So I have not my heavy, but like my good convo with Armando that I always love having. Anytime I can talk to him, whether it's on the phone, whether we're texting or I see him in person, I love those moments. Because Armando means a lot to me. I have a lot of love for him. I really do. He's very, very special. As a person, as an artist, as a creative, just as a human being. He has so much that he has to offer and so much that he's been through in his life. And to be the way that he is with me, with the people around him, he's an experience in itself. And you're like, damn, dude, with the amount of shit you've been through in your life, to be this way with people, there's something very meaningful about that. Because I feel like for a lot of us, when we experience and we endure certain things, it changes us. I know for myself, the things that I've endured have definitely changed me. And I try my best to stay true to myself, but I notice that like I'll be a couple notches down, right? And granted, he's lived and he's done certain things for a certain amount of time that I don't have yet. I don't have that experience yet. I don't have that time yet. He's had a lot of time to reflect and he's had a lot of time to just kind of live and be about it, which I think he is the way that he is and why he can share certain things with myself, with the people around me. And I remember telling Julian, I'm going to introduce you to Armando. And when we started talking, like, after we finished up with Armando, Julian and I kept walking and he was just like, dude, that was so sick. And I'm like, bro, it's hard to explain how special he is, because people just don't get it. You don't get it. And if you don't know anything about him, do some homework. Check it out. There's a documentary on him that's fucking incredible. Like, he's a great person. He really is. Got a lot of love for him. So Armando, if you're watching this, listening, love you, dude. And then from there, I also had a conversation with Bams too. And I was just talking to him about how appreciative I am to be in this position. And it's hard to not think about like why I'm in this position. And I'm not going to say it's essentially because of Waxer's passing, but Wax had a big part in me being where I am right now with the club. Because, at his funeral, with that whole experience, for those of you guys who listened to that podcast and or watched it, you already know what that experience was. But that kind of put me in a different standing, right? So last year, I went as just like a spectator and just kind of doing my thing. I didn't know anyone, This year, I was there giving hugs, shaking hands, saying what's up, talking to certain people. And now, creating for a club that I have so much love and respect for. And I was just sharing that with him because I got a lot of love for him. He's always shown me love. He's always been good to me. And I've told him to his face, I'm like, dude, you had no reason to do that. You had no reason to. But there's something that told you to do so. And I'm appreciative of that. Because now I'm in this position that I can go and shoot and do whatever I need to do to make something happen. And now I'm creating a piece for people that I really care for. And I'm excited about that. Like, cause it's not just another video for me. For some people, it's like, oh, he's dropping another edit. But it's like, this edit is heavy for me. It means a lot because of what's behind it, of what it stands for. It's not just about cars. It's about family. It's about the culture. It's about what I love. This is something that I love with the people that I love, the people that I care for. The fact that I don't remember being somewhere and feeling so safe because I could turn to my left, turn to my right, talk to certain people and just know that I have people that are there for me in a very selfish way. Like it was a very selfish thing. Like I would turn around, I'm just like, I got people. And it felt good to know that. Again, I look this way, I got somebody. I look that way, I got somebody. And I could talk to them about anything that I needed to talk to them about. So it was such a surreal experience to be surrounded by that much love and that much just care and that much just enthusiasm to see that I had my rig on me to be like, yo, dude, I know you're going to create something sick and I'm excited to see it. To have that support without the piece even being out. I'm like, damn, dude, it's wild. Absolutely wild. So, for Bams, Natasha, like, I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for putting me on, for making me feel like I'm a part of this. Because I really do feel like I am. And I feel at home. And that's something that nobody can take from me. That I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. And I'm very appreciative of that, for sure. And I look forward to everything that's coming, in the following weeks with events and the years to come, all the memories that are going to be made. Because again, I'm really excited about that. And that's what kind of makes me excited about the future is things like that. Because it makes me look forward more. Like as much as I'm trying to live in the moment right now and be present and be grounded, there are certain things that are okay, I feel like, to look forward to. And that's one of them. So, shouts to everybody, all the guys. But again, Bams, fucking love you, G. And, even the guys from Coyotes that I was running into, always good vibes, always good things. I ran into Grim. So excited to see Grim, which I know I've talked to you guys about Grim before. But again, same thing, all love. And with the amount of strife that he's had to deal with throughout his entire life, that man has so much love to give. Again, another experience that I very much needed that day. So you too, Grim. Love you, my boy. And also throughout the day as I was filming, I was trying to really focus and just kind of get my work done, do my thing, take on the experiences, look at the cars, enjoy the event. But I remember having this conversation with Sebastian a while back. And he was telling me about a wheeling trip that he went on when he went up north to Tahoe. And it's a trip that he takes every year. But he always tells me, I can't and I don't enjoy the trip when I'm on it. It usually hits me on the way home or when I get home. And I kind of had that experience because not that I wasn't enjoying the event, because I was, but I was so focused on what I was doing and trying to get done that I feel like it didn't hit me until the next day. Really. Like on the drive home, I started to kind of feel it a little bit, but the next day, Monday, I was like, damn, dude, that actually happened. Like, it's one of those things you think about it. The day comes and then it's gone. And I'm like, well, damn, like it constantly shows me, like I have these moments in life that constantly show me how important and how fast time moves. And it's like, what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to sit and be sad and feel sorry and do all these things and wish that things could be a different way? Or are you going to live it for what it is? Are you going to ground yourself in this moment and say, okay, I'm here. Let's go. Let's run it up. And it it was wild. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. Like I'm really having a tough time because I don't want to be too repetitive, but it's just like, fuck, it was a really eye-opening experience to be there on Saturday. It was cool. It was humbling. It was everything under the fucking sun, you know? Got to share all these moments with people I didn't think I'd share moments with. You know, I was talking to Caro, which is Adrian's girl, Almazan. We started talking about, you know, stuff with life and the universe. And this was already, the night was over pretty much. You know, I had set my camera down. I was just kind of chilling with her. And we start talking just about how you end up in certain places and why you end up there and why you see certain things and you connect with certain people. And it was weird because after that conversation, every conversation that came after that ended up being like very, I guess, like very focused on that. And it was with completely different people that weren't even around, you know? So it just, that kind of triggered something. I don't know what it was, but it triggered something. And it made me feel good because I started to realize, I was like, all right, you're here for a reason. You're with these people for a reason. You're having these moments with these people for reasons. So take them, run with them. And from there, after I left from talking with Caro, I went over to Zandra, which is Waxer's sister. She had taken some pieces that she was going to be selling. And I didn't know she was going to be there. Like, I didn't know they were going to be selling any of his stuff. But it just kind of slipped my mind. I ended up talking with her for a cool minute. We're sitting there chopping it up about life, chopping it up about, you know, Wax, about myself, about herself, like all these things. And I was like, damn, dude, this is gnarly. And I also realized when I was talking to her, like, I was having such a hard time around Waxer's car. I had went to film at one point in the day around those cars, like around the May genocide cars. I was doing all kinds of interior stuff, you know, just what I normally do. I try and show you guys every part of the car that I love. And for some reason, I filmed like the most minimal amount of his car because I don't know, it sucked and I hated it. And it fucking hurt. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would affect me like that. But I think because I thought that so heavily that when the moment actually presented itself, I was like, damn, dude, this is fucked. This is fucked. Like 110%. There was, you know, like they had like a little, like an altar for him next to his car. You know, there's candles on the floor, you know, in the shape of a G. You know, they had the placa on the back. David from Wishful Thinking had done a calligraphy piece of his name. So he had Waxer on a black piece of paper in gold. It sat down right there. Which, you know, you guys will see that in the video. But it was like I couldn't do it. It was like I couldn't fucking do it. I told myself, I was like, all right, make sure that you film this, make sure that you film that. And when it came down to it, not that I froze, but I was just kind of like boom, boom, and then just kind of moved on. And I didn't mean it, and I don't mean it in any sort of like disrespectful manner in any way, shape, or form, because I think even Wax knows like how much love and how much respect I have for him. And honestly, again, if it wasn't for a certain circumstance, you know, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So shouts to him in general, just from wherever he's at. Like, I know he's looking over, and I know he's watching certain steps that are being made, and I hope it's helping me out because I feel like a part of it is. But it was really tough to see that. And again, I didn't think it would bother me that much. And it did. It really fucking did. Because it was weird thinking about it when like someone's there and then time passes and then they're just not there anymore. But a piece of them is, and you're like, well, where the fuck are you? You know what I mean? It's rough. It's fucking rough. And I know how hard it was for everybody else around them too. And like Zandra, seeing how she was, and then also getting to talk to Mama Wax. And she didn't know I spoke Spanish. Once I started speaking Spanish to her, we really started talking. And it was the hardest thing to see because it reminded me of my grandma and what she went through when my uncle passed, because I don't know, there's something so, like, watching a mother in pain. Fuck, man, it's fucking trash. It's trash. Because she was there, right? She was present. She was trying to be a part of this event and trying to be happy, but it's like, she's fucking sad, dude. Her son's car is there. There's all these pieces about her son. There's this altar for her son, but her son's not here. And we're doing our best to honor him and to show how much we love and how much we care. But it was hard. And again, I found myself, I was so disappointed that I didn't record more and I didn't do certain things, but I wasn't there. And I hope at some point I'm able to do certain work with that car so I can show you guys really how beautiful it is, because there's something so special about that car and what it represents. And for myself, it represents a lot. And again, I really do hope that at some point I get a chance to show you guys and feature something that is so beautiful. Because if you've never seen that car, if you've never seen Heart of Gold in person, damn, like, you've no fucking idea. Zero, no idea. Because that car is fucking incredible. Wax did something really special with that. And I know E-Dog and the rest of the guys that have a say and that are going to continue the build, what they're going to do with it is going to be insane too. So I'm really looking forward to that. Really, really looking forward to that. But it was rough. It was a rough day. Like, as much as it was dope and running into people and getting to do my thing, that's the thing. I was there to have a good time, but I was there to work. And that was a crazy experience. Very surreal. But man, it was really rough at the same time. Because I started, again, thinking about Wax. I started thinking about people that I've lost over the last year. Situations that I'm in right now that I'm kind of dealing with just in my personal life. And I started to just kind of like go nuts a little bit, right? Like, I was just kind of spiraling. And when I was talking with David from Wishful Thinking, I had stopped in on the booth to film a little bit because I was trying to I wanted to capture the experience, right? Like, what was there, certain vendors, things like that. And I got a lot of love for David. I've known him for a couple years now. And he's always been good. He's always been good to me, straight up. So I'm like, let me show him some love. So I went, started filming his setup, this, and that. And then we start talking. Talked a few times throughout the night. But we kind of jumped into the same thing that Caro and I were talking about. We were talking about the universe and life and working and just trying to make shit happen. And we also started talking about, like, making your own luck, because no one's going to hand you a fucking thing. And it's like, you can't just sit there and hope for the best. You got to sometimes make shit work. And then that's where the best comes from. That's where your opportunities come from. They come from the grind. They come from doing certain things. And I know I talk a lot of shit about grind culture because there's a very, very, very fine line before crossing over where it gets into this really dark place, because I think grind culture can really fuck you up too. Because you're just like, push, 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 go, go, go. And it's not like that. That's not life. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's one thing to push yourself to get somewhere, but when you hit a certain level of grind culture, you're never where you want to be, because you hit a certain point and then you're like, I want more. I need to get more. I need to do more. And that's not what life is all about. You can do that shit as much as you want, but you also have to be able to pull back and realize where the fuck you are. And that was a part of my day on Saturday, was as much as I was trying to push, go and do my thing, I also had to stop in these moments and realize, yo, these glitches in time that you're having with these people, right, where you're like fully stopping what you're doing, you're having them for a reason. You're supposed to have these conversations. You're supposed to meet these people and shake these hands and do this and do that. Because there was some really important hands that I ended up shaking on Saturday, and I had no fucking idea. And if I would have kept my head down in my camera and not given a fuck, I would have missed every single opportunity. Because every single one of those opportunities that I had was mid-film, where I'm focusing, I'm trying to do my thing, but I had to look up. I had to, just kind of stop for a second, and then there you go. Caught an opportunity, was able to shake a hand, was able to do certain things, talk with certain people, and I said, damn, dude, what the fuck? Like, I wonder why I looked up then. I wonder why I did that then. I don't know what or who or something caused me to do that. Maybe it was wax. Maybe it was other people watching over me from somewhere. The universe, whatever you want to call it, energy, something. Something told me, hey, look up. Hey, talk to this person. Hey, interact, shake this hand, do what you do. This was weird. It was weird the way certain things were going down on Saturday. And it felt kind of like a spiritual experience. So there's a lot of energy that went down at Pink. And I wasn't the only person to feel it. There was other people that kind of felt how special that was and how much love was there. So it was tight. It was really fucking tight to have everything the way it went down as a whole. And when I was driving home, like I kind of walked away from the event. And I was a little sad because I was like, damn, it's over. It's over. Like, that's it. It's done. Helped up Zandra to pack her stuff up. Adrian helping him put his pictures and things like that away. David put away his clothing and things like that from his company, which has a company, Wishful Thinking, if I didn't mention that already. Super badass shit. Just sick as fuck. Go check it out. Don't ask questions, just go. You're gonna love it. But I felt complete when I was driving home, and it really stuck with me. Like, I felt like I really did something that day. I felt like it was a day of meaning. It wasn't just a day of work. It wasn't just a day of cars. It wasn't just a day of like family. There was like meaning to it. It was heavy. And I got home, put all my stuff down, put my gear away. And actually, I lied. I put my gear away on Sunday. But I got home, put my stuff just down and away, jumped in the shower, and the water was just kind of hitting me, and I was just kind of chilling there, right? The water is like rolling on my face, and I'm like, I got kind of emotional about it because I was like, damn, dude, this is crazy. A year's passed with this time frame, right? Like, being from this event, it's like a year's passed, and I'm here again, coming up on my birthday, start thinking, and I'm going through it. All that stuff rolled into Sunday, and Sunday ended up being in a very pensive state, and I had to meditate quite a bit, do a lot of grounding work, because I was just feeling kind of outside myself. It was heavy. I had too many thoughts, too many things rolling through my head, but I was like, you know what? It's all right. Again, remind yourself of where you are, why you're here, what you're doing. Continue doing that, one step at a time. Everything that you don't have control over is literally outside of your control. It's as simple as that. There's nothing you can do or say that's going to change anything that's going to happen. The days are going to continue to pass. So let's make it count. Do certain things. Contribute to yourself, your happiness, your future. So I've been trying to do that each and every single day. Even if it's like at very, very small things, with little things I want to do, things I want to get done, I make sure to do them. I make time for that. Because I have to do that. I have to make time for myself. Because I don't. I try to fill my time. I try to fill my schedule up, whether it's with work, with other people, other things. And I'm like, nah, dude, this ain't it. And even last week too, I went to an art gallery thing. And that was really fucking cool too. I went to go see this graffiti artist that I really look up to, Mike Giant. And then after that, I went to go see Rob because I was up the street from his place. And I was like, I have to carve out and make time and see and try and do certain things. I haven't seen him in a long time. And I said, I got to try to see him. I'm right here. He's had his things going on. I've had my things going on, but I have a moment right now. Again, how and why that worked out, I don't know, but it did. And it's like, okay, this is it. So I had these constant reminders, and I was thinking about all this stuff on Sunday. And I was like, yup, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Exactly where you're supposed to be. So it was tight. It was really fucking tight. So aside from the event going off on Saturday and the cars being insane, which you guys will see, everything that was around and outside of the cars is what meant so much more. And I think, again, that's why I love what I do, because it reinforces everything, the type of person that I am, why I feel that I'm here to create, to make, to give smiles, to give people memories, to give nostalgia. Like, I feel like I'm here for so many reasons. I don't know if it's even just one specific reason, but I feel like it's all those things. I feel like it's so many more, and I'm going to continue to gain more and more and more of those things as I continue to do what I do. And it's a gift. I feel like I'm being given a gift from the universe because it's like, hey, you're doing something. Keep it up. Move it like this. Move it like that. So I'm like, all right, let's make shit happen. That's why like I continue fucking with this podcast. Whether it's 5 people who listen, whether it's 1 person who listens. Like I feel like every time that we talk, every time I sit here in front of this camera, it's like conversation's real. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. And there's a reason why we're getting into it. So it's tight, y'all. It's tight. It's very humbling. And I'm thankful again to be in this position without a doubt. And also too, just like from a straight just car perspective, because I was really sad that I didn't have the Q with me on Saturday, but trying to get tags right now. I need to get it smogged. Whole ass situation. So we'll see what happens, but that car will be up ASAP. So Ivan, I'm gonna be on my way to you because I need fucking tires. You already know. And when my smog shit gets handled, that's it. It's full green light. Things are gonna happen. Car's gonna be out. I'm gonna be out in the streets. I'm gonna be fucking out. We're gonna be outside this whole ass summer. Like I want to take that car out more than I ever have. I want to take it to go get burgers, pizza, go for a cruise more. Like I need more of it. And I realize how much it's been missing from my life. And that's the shit that makes me sad. Because I'm like, fuck, dude, I miss cruising. I love my truck and I love just kind of going to events. But there's something different about pulling up in your whip. Because it's like, that's you. You show up with the extension of you, right? And I need that. I need it right the fuck now. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I can get that shit up and running. My goal is to have it up and running by my birthday. So we'll see. I have until mid-June, so got a couple weeks. We'll see how that all goes down. But it's going to be back. And again, I'm going to be back outside. And then y'all going to be like, damn, he's outside. Because I'm going to try posting it, doing certain things, whatever the fuck I need to do. Or want to do, I should say. Not even need to do. But I do want my car back. So it'll be back up very, very soon. And, a part of my conversation with David kind of led me to the advice for this week. And we started talking about just kind of like ebb and flow and why it's so important to be in the present and why we are set to do certain things for ourselves and why we can't rely on other people and all. We started getting into this heavy conversation. But it led me again to the advice because I saw something and I said, that's it. And the advice is, instead of fighting, allow. Instead of judging, see. Instead of absorbing, observe. Once again, instead of fighting, allow. Instead of judging, see. And instead of absorbing, observe. I feel like those 3 things will take you very, very far if you break them down. And even in the simplest form, just kind of fully opening your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, and listening to those 3 things, even if you repeat that to yourself. Because I said it to myself a few times when I read it, and it started to sink heavier every single time. I think there's sometimes we come across words in our life that will have that sort of weight to them. And the more that you say it, the more that you kind of put it into your mind, it starts to sink a little bit deeper until the point where you start to feel it. And you realize it and it hits you like a ton of bricks. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I think those 3 things are very, very important. Because right now I'm doing my best to just allow and not fight what's happening. I'm doing my absolute best to see instead of judge and make reasonings and make up excuses why certain things are the way that they are. Like I just have to look at it for what it is because it's there. It's black and white. A lot of what we're given in life is black and white. It's simple. We just choose to make it gray. We try to make up reasonings why it is this way, but it's not. Things are given and shown exactly how they are. Exactly how people versus, let's say they tell you something. They tell you that they care. They tell you that they love you. They tell you that you're so important, but they show you otherwise. They show you that they don't give a fuck about you. They show you that they could care less if you're in their fucking life. They could care less if you talk to them, whatever the fuck, however. Those actions speak, right? It's black and white. You told me one thing, but you're showing me something else, which has way more meaning. So you see it for what it is. and observe it instead of absorbing it. So with situations like that, again, just look at it for what it is. Don't take it so personal. Don't take it to heart. Because that shit eats you up. It kills you. And you don't need that. That's not for you. That's not what the universe wants for you. It wants to show you something at times, and you might have to see it, and it might be really hard to see. But once you kind of let yourself sit in it and realize that, you're like, oh, so that's what this was. All right. I'm gonna keep it moving, because that's what it's all about. Again, instead of fighting, allow. Instead of judging, see. And instead of absorbing, observe. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week, for showing me love, for coming back week after week and listening to all this craziness that we have to talk about. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And, shoot me a comment, DM, whatever. Let's see what's up for next week. I have no idea what we're going to get into, what's going to go down. I feel like everything changes week to week, right? Like I try to have a plan, I try to have a schedule, and that shit gets tossed out the window. So let's see what's up. If there's something you guys want me to talk about, you want me to get into, let me know what's up. Reach out. But I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.